Hello everybody and welcome in the 13th episode of the Pleasant Journey with Mr. Barone. We are in the front of the entrance of this little building of two floors where in the 17th century lived here and one of the most important artists of the Italian Baroque. He is neither Bernini nor Borromini and not as well Annibale Caravaggio. We are talking about Michele Merisi, well known as Caravaggio. He was born in Milan in 1571 and finished his life in Ercole Erbour in 1610. He moved here in Rome exactly between the 1592 or 1594. We didn't know about it, but we know he moved here at the end of the 16th century, and this is the only property about Caravaggio. He lived there on the second floor. There is a small window above, upstairs the other windows, and there came the light to create all these his masterpieces. But before to go inside this property, he moved to the palace of Monsignor Pucci, called Salad, because when it was the moment of meals, he prepared only salad. And then with his when he was friends of Cardinal Del Monte, and he moved to the palace, to the Madama Palace. Nowadays we know Madama Palace is the headquarters of the Italian Senate. Okay, do you remember? And next there is the palace. In front of the palace, Palazzo Madama, or as you prefer, Madama Palace is more British, I know. There is the Giustiniani Palace, as well with Del Monte. He bought a lot of masterpieces like the cheats. Del Monte bought a lot of masterpieces of Caravaggio, such as the cheats. We know in Italian I bari. Caravaggio, thanks to Caravaggio, thanks to the Cardinal Del Monte, he creates a lot of masterpieces. We have to go there, then to St. Louis of France and find the church, and finally to Holy Mary of the Popolo, Santa Maria del Popolo, as you prefer. And there is a lot of Caravaggio's masterpieces. But let me show you what is the moment, what is the situation in Europe exactly, and not only in Italian, about the 17th century. We are talking about a great situation after the Council of Trento, where there is the schism between the Catholics and Protestants. The Christianity religion recognizes the deepest crisis inside his religion. And then we are talking about the division between France and Spain. France, we know, with the deepest crisis, religion crisis, and Spain with the deepest economic crisis. And we have to know that Spain, to pay its debts with banks, improved all the taxes in Milan, in Naples, and in Italian island, because the Spaniards were there in Milan, in Naples, and they have to pay with debts with improving taxes. So this is the situation. But in Europe, in Italy, exactly Rome, we have a different situation. There were two popes in a month. First, the Pope Leon XI, the Medici, His ideology, politics ideology was for the French, but the later Paul V Borghese was as a policy next to the Spain as well. So, and this is the situation because Leon XI lasted only a month, more or less a month, and then we are talking about the year, the 1605, the beginning. We are talking at the beginning of the 17th century. We moved to Paul V. This is the situation, but thanks to the Cardinal Del Monte, Caravaggio arrived to paint into St. Louis of France, inside the church, and now we move there. So follow me, please. To go to the church of St. Louis of France, I want to show you a place. Here there is the ancient osteria of Lupa, della Lupa, antica osteria della Lupa, where maybe Caravaggio came here to meet some paramour and gypsy, or a most important figure of the Christianity. Sometimes Cardinal came here to drink something or to meet the paramour in secret. So we are in Via della Lupa, the ancient history of the she-wolf, the she-wolf road. This one is, as you prefer in British conversation. It was maybe the history when sometimes Caravaggio came here to drink something after his words, and there is Via della Scrofa, where exactly here some arguments, and near this area there is the ancient prison of Tordinona, where sometimes or some nights, as you prefer, Caravaggio passed his nights after some arguments with the police or with against Ranuccio Tommasoni. Ranuccio Tommasoni, you have to remember the date, the 1606, the 28th of May, where Piazza di Firenze, and the road Via di Pallacorda. But now follow me because we have to go to the church. As I promised, we are in the front of the Church of St. Louis of France, but first to explain all about the masterpiece inside this church, you have to get into the church and discover the paintings of Caravaggio. See you later. Have you already seen everything? Are you sure? Okay, I continue up. So inside, have you seen? There are three masterpieces of Caravaggio: the Vocation and Matrix of St. Matthew, and St. Matthew with the angel. You know, the darkness and the light show Jesus Christ, and St. Peter's calling St. Matthew. And St. Matthew, there is the light. You know, the hands of Jesus, they are similar way with another masterpiece. You have to recognize the end. Where have you already seen the end? But there is another things to know. There is the inside there is the second version of the St. Matthew with the angel. Why? Because maybe for Bayone we know he was against a painter, against Caravaggio, and in the history of art we know there are plenty of arguments between Oamon painters, Leonardo da Vinci with Botticelli, Raffaello Sanzio with Michelangelo Buonarroti, Bernini with Borromini, and as well Bayone against Caravaggio. Inside there is the second version. Where is the first version? It was destroyed. It was fired in Berlin in the 1945, but it is said that it was refused from the family of Contarelli, because these masterpieces are into the Contarelli's chapel, then this motivation was refused, and it was indicated that this masterpiece was only another contract between Michelangelo Merisi, the Caravaggio, and the family of Contarelli. And the version of Bayone was refused. But we know there are a lot of mistakes in the history or the different version about Michelangelo Merisi. But we know this character was very bad. It was not a bad person, but we are talking about Bernini or Borromini in a different way. But we are talking about Caravaggio as a bad person, bad character. He has got a different parmour, and it is believed he was gay or bisexual, but we know as his ancient teacher, because he imitated Michelangelo Buonarroti. We know he was gay from the Rime, his book, but there is no tendency about Caravaggio and his sexual nature, but we know he was bisexual. He goes with Paramount, and then maybe with Cecco, his helper, Cecco, as well as known as the little Caravaggio, Caravaggino in Italian, as you prefer. So this is the moment. Thanks to the cardinal, he painted inside his church between the 1599 and the 1602. And let me see where it is. In the other side of this place, there is Palazzo Madama, or Madama Palace, as you prefer, where the Cardinal del Monte lived. And thanks to this cardinal, he walked inside the church. And there is a Giustiniani, an important person about he both some masterpieces, some operas, some paintings of the Caravaggio. So then move to another church, Santa Maria del Popolo, and finally we have to talk about his arguments again with the police and his final point. Okay, this is better. This is the headquarters of the Italian Senate, but in the 17th century it was the residence of the Cardinal del Monte, where exactly Caravaggio lived before to move to the Vicolo San Biagio number 19. And a great palace, a great building, didn't it? Continuiamo.